Over the last 30 years, I have worked with, studied, consulted with, and mentored over 1,000 entrepreneurs from over 20 countries. And I find something interesting. Entrepreneurs, no matter which country they come from, seem to exhibit very similar attributes, qualities, and tendencies. And entrepreneurs from any part of the world, any category, seem to always be immensely optimistic about the future. That's one quality all entrepreneurs share. The second quality all entrepreneurs seem to share is this: no matter where they come from, they are tremendously excited about a product that they have, a killer app they've developed, or a solution that they wish to offer customers. In other words, it is these two qualities which link all entrepreneurs, that enable entrepreneurs to survive, sustain, and face all kinds of challenges. In other words, it's what keeps them going. But at the same time, it is these very attributes and qualities that blindside entrepreneurs. And because they're driven by so much of optimism, they do not do due diligence, they do not spend time on reflection, and do not consider strategizing and working out plans so that they may succeed in a structured and methodical manner. What makes an entrepreneur succeed is also the same thing that makes an entrepreneur fail. In one of the studies that it did, Bloomberg came out with an interesting statistic that 8 out of 10 businesses fail within the first 18 months. Now, this is a staggering statistic, and it is also needless, and it is also unnecessary, and it is also extremely tragic. And the reason is this: a lot of this failure tends to happen because entrepreneurs fall into very familiar and typical traps. Over the years, I've found that entrepreneurs tend to fall into 7 kinds of traps. And I call them the 7 deadly sins of entrepreneurs. And I'd like to share these 7 different traps that entrepreneurs fall into so that you as an entrepreneur or a CEO or a business owner can avoid these traps. The first trap that entrepreneurs fall into is this: they create a business with an untested idea. The second trap is this: they develop a product, but they do not develop customers. A third familiar trap is this: they do not bother to differentiate themselves. The fourth trap is this: they build a business without creating a business model. The fifth trap is this: entrepreneurs do not learn and adapt very quickly. The sixth trap is this: they try to get bigger without getting better. And the final trap is this: they do not build strong teams. Hence, it is no wonder that nearly 90% of the businesses end up as failures. And the business graveyard is literally littered with entrepreneurs and businesses that went to the marketplace either with an untested idea, or without a proper business model, or without learning and adapting, or without understanding and knowing their customers. All this is completely unnecessary. And all this is also due to the optimism and blind positive attitude of entrepreneurs. And entrepreneurs find it very difficult to strategize or reflect or take time to pause because they're so addicted to adrenaline and their instinct to continuously keep taking actions. If you look at a typical entrepreneur's life, right from when he or she wakes up in the morning, it is a relentless set of activities from start to finish. You're either trying to deal with a difficult client, you're trying to prevent yourself from losing a star employee, you're hoping to get a bank credit line, you're trying to keep or attract an investor, or you're trying to solve a product problem. And entrepreneurs are on this activity treadmill, and They genuinely believe that strategic thinking or doing due diligence or even any elaborate planning exercise is a waste of time or is only reserved for large businesses or global brands. They believe they do not have time for any of this. And this is one of the very, very big reasons why most entrepreneurs ultimately end up failing. I wrote this book, Tools, Tips, and Thoughts for Entrepreneurs, basically to enable business owners, CEOs, and entrepreneurs to avoid these pitfalls, to walk away from these familiar traps, and minimize the huge challenges that they have, which often lead to their failure. So, Tools, Tips, and Thoughts for Entrepreneurs is actually a book that I wrote, and I've also converted this book into a series of videos. And this is the video that you're watching. I hope you enjoy this video. And this is the first part of the video that explains to you why do entrepreneurs tend to fail.